Vladimir Putin loves to flex his muscles, and today he did so again, pumping up Russia's military might in his annual State of the Nation address. He now claims his country has nuclear weapons that cannot be intercepted, rendering NATO's missile defense system as useless.
Russia was and remains a big nuclear state. But no one wanted to speak with us constructively. No one has listened to us. You listen to us now.
Any use of nuclear weapons against Russia and its allies, small or medium or any strength, will be perceived as a nuclear attack on our country. The response will be immediate and with all due consequences.
The Pentagon says it's watched Russia's advancements with nuclear missiles for a very long time, and the White House commented today.
President Putin has confirmed what the United States government has known all along, which Russia has denied. Russia has been developing destabilizing weapons systems for over a decade in direct violations of its treaty obligations. America is moving forward to modernize our nuclear arsenal and ensure our capabilities are unmatched.
Okay, so this was big news today, and you saw it throughout all the networks talking about Russia's nuclear capability, whether or not the United States has an adequate and up-to-speed defense system against some of these missiles. And that's one of the things that President Trump is trying to do, is get us up to speed, because that's in large measure a lot of time what people have credited having this kind of, mutual respect situation with Russia, because we have the capability to do something about it and to prevent against it. We'll go to you, Mr. Russia.
All right. Well, I am Mr. Russia, as you know. Russia will never change. We knew this. It was why Ronald Reagan was way ahead of his time with SDI.
Yes, Strategic Defense Initiative.
And everybody on the left in the media thought SDI, they demeaned it. They called it Star Wars. I wish we'd pursued that. But there is a difference between Russia and the rest of the world. It's called rationalism. They understand the concept of mutually assured destruction. Yep. It's a concept that all rational actors around the world understand. You're not going to blow us up. We're not going to blow you up. So let's just call the whole thing off. However, there are people who seek to end the earth, for the promise of heavenly reward. They are not rational. ISIS is now spreading to other vulnerable regions around the globe. There's nothing more dangerous than a toxic ideology that regenerates indefinitely and is okay with destroying the world, because to them that's a reward. There's no mutually assured destruction argument with them. That's scary. So we have to think beyond missiles from Russia, start thinking about cyber terror, which is a big deal, because that can make you think there's a missile attack, and the attempt to paralyze our power grid, which would cause us to turn on each other. There is a reason why there are internet billionaires and Silicon Valley billionaires buying land and moving to New Zealand.
All right, so Dana, what did you make of Putin's comments, and then just if you can comment on the United States, readiness and sort of our strategy?
Well, I think, in the last 8 years, we had a president who really wanted to try to believe that there could be a nuclear-free world. Like, that's the goal, and it's just so unrealistic. And the military, Adam Kinzinger, the congressman from Illinois, was on my show today, and he said, we are not prepared. And I said, well, that's not very reassuring, although he did say that our defenses could overwhelm Putin, so it's not that big a deal. I do think that Putin is feeling a lot of heat. He has an election coming up, and obviously he's going to rig it, but he looks pretty small, because if you think about 10 days ago, on February 7th, the United States military absolutely kicked his rear end in Syria. There was many Russian mercenaries that were sent to Syria. They were basically doing terrible things to innocent people. We went in and took care of that. And the oligarch that's involved in all this Mueller stuff was actually in charge of those mercenaries. So there's a lot of stuff going on here. And I think what Putin is trying to do with this announcement, and who knows if it's even true, but that he is trying to make it look like the country of Russia is bigger and better than it actually is. It actually, in every single area of its economy, all around the world, their geopolitical efforts, the things they try to do here that they didn't succeed in 2016, all of those things make that country look really small. But internally, he has to make it look like he's so big. One thing that's changing, though, when those social media posts started going up after those mercenaries were killed, he can't stop that. And so he has to figure out a way to try to prevent people from getting information. And the best way to help the people of Russia is to get them more information.
We should hack Putin's election so Trump wins.
Now, that would be clever, huh? Well, some of the people would like to send him over to Russia, right, Juan? Okay, so what do you make of this, Jess?
This is Putin flexing. I agree with both of you guys. This is for domestic consumption.
Putin's the new Bowflex?
Yeah, that's right. Although only Juan wants to see Putin shirtless. The basic premise here is that they've designed these kind of tactical nuclear weapons where they can avoid a straight line. It doesn't go in a straight line, so it's harder to defend. That's fine. The missile defense system that we have in Anchorage, Alaska, and in Eastern Europe, mostly designed for 1 or 2 missiles or from rogue regimes. They've always felt that it was a threat to them. It kind of was, to a certain extent, but like Red said, if they're going to shoot 6, we'll shoot 7, we're all dead, doesn't matter. We're both rational actors. This is going to cost the Russians a lot of money. They don't have a lot of money. So I think this is a waste of money for them. But this is all about prestige, and Putin want to be back like he was during the Cold War. President Obama scrapped our tactical nuclear weapons, took them off the warships, and now President Trump has said we want to design 2 new tactical nuclear weapons, 1 on a submarine, 1 on a Navy warship, and I think that was a response to President Trump's designs there. It's funny to hear the Democrats not say much about this. You know, when there's a few bots around causing trouble, it's a Cold War.
Right.
But now they want to spend billions on missiles that can take out the entire country. I haven't heard Adam Schiff say anything. I haven't heard Karen Chuck say anything. Where are the Democrats when there's an actual threat to national security from Russia? I'll let Juan respond.
Oh, I'd be glad to. You know,
How generous and benevolent of
but
you.
the thing about it, Kimberly, is I love listening to him.
Yes.
Yes, it's like
You've
it's like a
become very
song.
zen lately.
Well, the thing is, you just got to let the man have his moment.
That's
right.
You know,
I think
the
it's 'cause
Trump
also you
message
have
must go out.
his mom on your side.
Yeah, oh,
so you're
that's a
feeling
good point.
strength in numbers.
That's a good point. By the way, I think it was Hillary Clinton who was tweeting this very day, and I believe she's a Democrat, about the president's failure to go at Russia and Putin.
But you know why she did
having
that.
Violated, right?
You know why she did that.
Hillary
Because
was
she
so
said
tough on
nothing.
Russia, Juan.
She said nothing. He
Red
said
line.
nothing in terms of giving directions to the U.S. government to prevent a repeat of Russian interference in the next election. I think you guys are right about Russian insecurity. I think this is now the defining characteristic of all of Putin's rhetoric.
Yeah.
He said in his comments, and I thought this was the tell, he said, you have failed to contain Russia.
Yeah,
and then he starts talking about the size and how these cruise missiles can defeat our... You know, you forget, Jesse, it was President Obama who put, as a result of NATO and Poland being in it, a nuclear type of defense there that aggravated Putin.
Sure.
That's what started all of the invasion of Ukraine and the rest.
It wasn't
that
as
was
robust
the Democrats.
as everybody wanted
but
it to
I
be,
just,
Juan.
okay, fine. But here's the thing. I think that you have to understand that, going back to what Dana was talking about, this attack on U.S. forces that Putin is pushing, if he had captured Americans, boy, if he is testing President Trump's oath that he's going to get out of Syria. We'll see what happens.
All right. Attorney General Jeff Sessions signing out with his top aides after he got a very public thrashing from President Trump. Was he trying to send a message, or was he just hungry? Next.
I'm so scared in case I fall.